This is the Chancellor's Report from 89.7 WUWM, Milwaukee's NPR, featuring Thomas Gibson, Chancellor of the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. And here's your host, WUWM General Manager, David Lee.
Hello, and thank you for joining the UWM Chancellor's Report here on 89.7 WUWM. I'm David Lee, General Manager at the station, and I'm here today with UWM Chancellor Thomas Gibson. Hi, Tom. How are you?
I am well. How are you, David?
I'm doing great. We got a fun sort of situation, a fun show today, because if you're a fan of a good old-fashioned come-from-behind sports story, today is the show for you, because we're going to travel a little back in time. We're going to have the Chancellor set up a scene, and we're going to do a little bit of like the natural sort of situation for those of you who are of a certain vintage. Many of you know the UW Milwaukee baseball team had more success this year than ever before. And it was unfortunately cut short a little bit, but we're going to sort of set up the pathway to what happened. We're going to have Coach and Amanda here to talk a little bit more about it. But Chancellor, let's set us up. What happened that got us to this point?
Absolutely, David. So let's start with the final game of the season, which played out like a Hollywood movie. It was the bottom of the ninth, one runner on base. We were down by one. The pressure was certainly on. Then Panther player Joey Spence, a senior from West Bend, came up to bat, and he hit a home run that won the game in the Horizon League Championship.
For those of you who remember, that's from The Natural. So, have the Panthers won the championship before?
Yes, we have, but it's been 16 years ago.
16 years. It's been a bit, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
After that game, what happened next?
Yes, and our team was pitted against the fourth best team in the nation, Auburn University. This was indeed tough competition. I had the privilege of seeing our team off and wishing them well. There was just significant excitement and support in the city, the region, and beyond for our team. Even the Brewers manager, Pat Murphy, had encouraging words for our men.
I saw that on X, the photo with him with the hat on. Yeah, that was great.
Absolutely. That was a nice and sign of support for our Panthers men. So the Panthers pounced, no pun intended, on the Auburn Tigers. Remember, they are the fourth best team in the nation. Right. And guess what, David?
What?
Our guys won 13-8.
13-8. They put up a 13 spot on the fourth best team in the nation. That's incredible.
They did.
So wait, how long had it been since the Panthers won a game in the tournament?
I believe it's been approximately 27 years ago.
That's last century.
This is very true. But this time they won not one, but two games at the national level, making history for our program and for our university.
What an incredible run. So who do we have with us to help tell the story about all of this and about the baseball team?
Sure thing. We have Amanda Braun, Director of Athletics, with us, as well as Shaun Wegner, Head Baseball Coach, who is also, are you ready, a UWM alumnus.
I love it. This is so great. Welcome, Coach. Welcome, Amanda. Congratulations to the both of you for leading the Panthers to not only a Horizon League championship, but also 2 wins in the tourney. Just so everybody knows, the Sooners won the tournament just a couple days ago at the end of June, which is a bummer for us, but we made it, and we had 2 wins in the tourney. That's incredible. Amanda, can you tell us a little bit about what this means for us to advance to the tourney?
Yeah. First, thanks, Chancellor Gibson and David, for having us. This is such a cool way to look back on the success of this program. It was an incredible achievement. One that really didn't surprise us, the way the team had been playing later in the season, and I know Shaun can speak to that a little bit more. And just I was able to be there for the first games of the NCAA tournament, having watched along with everyone else the Horizon League tournament streamed. Just fun. The team was steady. The guys were patient at the bat, and just a wonderful run up. A lot of momentum. So much excitement.
So we know that you're engaged with the NCAA, obviously, in your role. But what kind of publicity does the university typically get from this kind of an entry?
Yeah, well, we did track on it, and within athletics and at the university level, and the value of some of this publicity was amazing. I jotted a few numbers here in the 7-day period, David, including the NCAA tournament games. We had 2.1 million impressions on our X account for baseball. In that period of time on Instagram, we increased 40% followers to 8,000 on our baseball Instagram. And then in a 30-day period, which included both that Horizon League run and then the NCAA tournament games, 3.3 million views on the baseball Instagram account. So those are just a few examples of what happened. Our website, athletics website, went crazy. Our typical viewership, our users, which is 10 seconds or more on our website, is about 4,000 a day. Bumped to 8,000 during the selection and the Horizon League games, and then peaked at 68,000.
Wow!
In our second Auburn game on May 31st. So pretty cool for the baseball program, for athletic department, certainly for the university.
That's really, really cool. In my research, in preparing for the show, I was told that our baseball team is the only Division I baseball team, and so as we do here in the news department, we fact checked, and that turned out to be true. So in essence, our baseball team is essentially Wisconsin's team, isn't that right?
Yeah, it sure is. And it felt like that. I was in Auburn, but I was hearing from people left and right about what was happening here in Milwaukee. You cited Pat Murphy. AJ Blubaugh was in town, a Panther, and he pitches for the Astros, happened to be playing the Brewers that weekend.
Oh, wow.
So that got some cool publicity. It just hit the media wire. I think Shaun was daily on radio shows and interviews with television folks, trying to pump up what we were doing. So it really hit the community. And then that darn hat, man, it just took off. Everybody wanted that hat. That was even Pat Murphy was pumping that for us. That was cool.
I love it. And as Wisconsin's team, I also understand that more than 2/3 of the team is from Wisconsin. Is that right?
That is right. I actually fact-checked that myself, and of our 34
Everybody's
guys,
fact-checking. I love it.
Yeah, 23 of them are Wisconsinites.
Wow.
And the other 11, gosh, we've got a few from Illinois, so upper Midwest. Yes, and that is the case for many of our sport programs here in Milwaukee.
Is that usual? Is that unusual to have so many homegrown or state-grown talent?
For us, I don't think so. We don't have a lot of Division I schools in the state relative to in Ohio or Texas. And say what you will about NIL and those sorts of things, but kids do like to stay close to home and have family be able to come out and watch them compete. So we do see a lot of that in our sport programs at Milwaukee.
Do you happen to know who's the player who came the farthest to play here?
Yeah. I think it's Japan.
What?
I had that right, Shaun? Yeah, we have a pitcher from Japan. So that's been cool. Shaun was telling me a little bit about how that experience has impacted the guys and even him and his staff in adjusting to that. So that's pretty cool.
I love it. Coach, let's bring you in here. I know you've been making the rounds, and so it's taken us a little bit of time to be able to get on your schedule to have you here with us. But first, do you want to pick up on that? Like, I understand like the Japanese sort of baseball development program is pretty intense. Like, how did we get this Japanese player to come play for us?
Yeah, his name is Sotaro Ishida. He's originally from Okayama, Japan, and he had come over here the last 2 years and played at 2 separate junior colleges. So Herkimer out on the East Coast, and he made his way all the way over to the West Coast to Cochise in California. But thankfully for us, last summer, he was pitching in Kenosha, Wisconsin for the Kenosha Kingfish in the Northwoods League, which is one of the premier collegiate baseball summer leagues. So we had a couple guys on our team that were on that roster. We know the GM really well. He actually is engaged to one of our volleyball coaches here. So that's a good connection to have. But we went and watched him pitch, and we liked some things about the pitching, but you just got to watch him more in the dugout and just his energy that he brought. He was such a popular guy in the dugout. Like everyone had to talk to Sotaro when he came around. So that's the biggest thing for us is we want to have really good team guys that are talented, obviously, but it's so much more than just baseball for us. We want to make sure we have good kids in the program. We have students that are focused on what they're trying to do. And then we're trying to win a lot of baseball games at the same time.
I love it. Speaking of having good guys in the clubhouse, I understand that not only are you an alum, but you were also on the team that the last time the Panthers advanced the tournament. Is that right?
Yeah, it is. I was fortunate to be the catcher in 2010 when we made it to the regionals to Arizona State, and I got to tackle the pitcher after that final out.
Is it true that catchers make the best managers?
Well, you're asking one, so I have to say yes, right?
That was a softball for you, right?
Right. I mean, I think the biggest reason that catchers a lot of times are is because you're on the offense, but you're also on the pitching side, right? We don't actually pitch, but we work with pitchers on a daily basis. So we have to understand both sides of the ball. And a lot of times, if you're an outfielder, you have no idea about pitching, or pitchers have no idea about the offensive side of it. So I think just as a catcher, you're the leader. You're the only person that looks out into the field and sees every play. You're talking with the pitching coach. You're talking with the head coach. You're talking with the hitting coach. You're just gaining a lot of knowledge throughout your time as a catcher that sets you up for success as a potential manager.
I love it. So you won the Horizon League championship when you were a player. Now, what was it like to win it as a coach, leading this group of young men?
Yeah, it was pretty surreal. It brought back memories from that day back in 2010. But I mean, as a player, it's really fun when you get to watch other people kind of reach their goals and find success. It's so much more of an accomplishment to me, right? So I was able to relax a lot more in that moment because I had already been there. My shoes had been on the ground. But to watch these guys find a way to overcome last year's result where we kind of choked it away and find a way to finish the job this year, it was so satisfying and gratifying for me as a coach. And it's just so fun when you get to watch your guys cry happy tears instead of the end of the year.
What was, generally speaking, what was their reaction through all of this? I mean, getting to the tourney, winning the championship, that just seems like winning a championship and then getting the tourney.
Yeah, I mean, the Horizon League championship game that we won, the part that we don't talk about is we gave up 3 to lose the lead in the top of the ninth. So it was a roller coaster. Like we were riding high. We had the reliever of the year in there. We're feeling good about ourselves, and we end up giving up 3. And it's so easy to feel down on yourself and just quit. But these guys had been resilient all year, and that's really the mark of a Panther and a mark of someone from Wisconsin, right? We're blue collar, we're gritty, we get through a lot of things. So that was what was really impressive to me. Yeah, I love the walk-off home run, but it's really the response to giving up those runs that made the biggest difference to me. And I mean, we had to find our love for one another. I know a lot of times as men, we don't use that word with one another, but that's what our team was missing early in the year. We had a lot of selfishness. And once we learned to love one another, we found our joy, we found our gratitude, and then we could just find ourselves on the same side of the rope pulling to finish the job.
What is it about maybe team sports or maybe baseball that like this sense of like love or like, you know, if you want to use a different word, like vibes, like clubhouse vibes, like how does that actually translate to on-field performance? Like as somebody who's, I mean, you just spoke about it, right? Like that seems like something that's very palpable and very real.
Yeah, I think the word chemistry is a perfect definition for it, right? Like you have to bring all of these different pieces together from different areas, different backgrounds, different experiences, and you have to get them all to understand what we're trying to do. But then the hardest part of that is they need to find their purpose and they need to fit into what we need them to be, right? Everyone's got a role. Not everyone's going to be the superstar. Not everyone can be the starting pitcher or the closer. Like you gotta adjust what you have been to what you need in the moment. And that's what makes it tough. So that's not just on the field, but off the field too, right? Like sometimes people come in and they're most popular, and then all of a sudden they find out that it's going to be a little different when they get here. So the social aspect of the game is just as important as the on-field product, right? And that's why as a manager or a head coach, that's my biggest job, is to try and get these guys together and to become one and understand that we're all here for the exact same reason. We can be selfish and try to be a really good player, but within a team facet.
Chancellor, I don't know if you kind of like respond to that, or Amanda even in a sort of more administrative organizational role. But I've always kind of thought that like leading an organization is the same as how I would envision kind of being a coach of a sports team. Is that you have this disparate group of people that you're trying to marshal their forces together for the mission of the organization, mission of the department, or to win games, right? Like you're trying to put people in positions to win, and whether that's, hitting a ball or fielding a ball or executing a meeting or executing a project, they're all kind of the same thing.
That's very true, and I think you've hit the nail on the head. As they say, from where I sit in the organization, I'm trying to assess who's on the team, who has what capabilities, who might I be able to leverage for the greatest impact for the organization, and how you keep other colleagues motivated to support from where they sit in the organization. It's very much so like coaching an athletic team.
Yeah, I would just layer on that the same. And I think Shaun mentioned it. It really is about clearing the path for people, right? And then sort of getting out of their way, that whole idea of hiring the right people and supporting them and clearing their path for success. And that's what coaches do for our student athletes. And I take that as my role to do that for our coaches, to position them. And then also for the university, how can we clear the path for the university to find success with things like a baseball run in the NCAA tournament? So yeah, it's all a team effort for sure.
Coach, do you think that did you ever think that the team thought that they could make it that far?
Yeah, when we came together in the preseason, our goal was to win the conference regular season, which we did not accomplish. We finished second place. But our goal was also to get to a regional. That was our ultimate goal. And we were able to focus our attention on that. And that's why if you look at our early season struggles, you can see the record, but we had a purpose for it, right? We challenged our guys intentionally and put them in environments that maybe they were uncomfortable in to prepare for the end of the year when we knew we had to be at our best. So did I know that we would be one win away from a super regional? No, I didn't. But I knew that once you get in, everyone's got a chance.
So as an alum, what made you want to come back to be able to coach the Panther baseball team?
I mean, it's always been a goal of mine to come back and impact this program. And obviously the dream has been to lead this program. And that's because of the people that came before me and that gave me the opportunity initially to play here. They brought me in as a walk-on. I was able to earn my way into a scholarship. And I always just had that chip on my shoulder of, I think I'm better than people give me credit for. So I want to prove people wrong. And now as the head coach here, I want to prove people wrong that don't believe we have a chance to be good enough here, because we do have a lot of really good things here at Milwaukee. And you're always going to try to increase and enhance. But we've started hopefully the momentum swing here. And now hopefully we can capitalize it and get guys to come here and buy into what we're doing and continue the run.
I love it. That's so exciting. When we had Coach Lundy on the show a couple of months ago, I asked him what the difference was between kind of pro basketball and the college game. So I guess to you, what would be some of the nuanced differences between MLB baseball and college baseball outside of bats?
I think the energy game, there's a lot more chatter and noise in college baseball, good and bad. Quite honestly, it gets a little chippy at times. But we have a 56 game schedule. They have 162 games. They have a lot more opportunities. They're getting paid millions. Our guys some of them are getting paid a scholarship, so it's a whole different ball game there. It's just everyone's kind of going up the totem pole, right? From high school to college, where you're learning and making more mistakes to hopefully push you forward. And then when you get to the pro game, you finally become kind of the best version of yourself. So the games are very similar on the field. But I think you're just seeing very immature people find their maturity and grow up as human beings. And then they start becoming real adults once they get to the next level and they can handle things their own way.
So if the tournament was just wrapped up in June and we think of, baseball as a summer sport and we're just getting to summer now, that means your first game was back in February. When we're all still kind of maybe getting ready for the Super Bowl and getting ready or still in winter sports. What's that like playing an outdoor summer game? Like, how does that work?
It's not easy. I can tell you that. I love my family, but I miss them from February to March. We hit the road. We chase sunshine. We chase good playing surfaces, environments. We just have to do what's right for the student athletes to get out there and play games that they deserve to play. Is there a budgetary hit? Yeah, that's going to happen no matter where you're at. But we have to do that because we can't control the weather, right? That's one of the things that I do not have any control of here in this program. So we have to make sure that we're planning ahead, trying to get to some environments where you're almost guaranteed games so that our players are getting the right opportunities to prepare for when we do finally come back at the end of March, early April to play here at home.
So in those early months, we don't have home games in Milwaukee. We're traveling throughout the Sunshine States and, wherever sunshine is in February. Is that right?
Yes. This past year we opened up at LSU. So we were Louisiana, we were in North Carolina, southern tip of Indiana, Missouri. You're just trying to find places you can get to without having to fly all the time because that gets expensive. Yeah. But you also got to go where you can play.
So how do our student athletes do the student part of the athlete situation if they're away like that for that period of time?
Yeah, the one thing that we preach all the time is you're a student athlete. There's a reason the word student comes first, right? And they're not mutually exclusive. The way that you attack baseball and your training, it should be the exact same way you attack the classroom and your degree studies. So we have really good student athletes that are driven, that are disciplined. They understand what it takes to be successful on the field is the exact same thing it takes to be in the classroom. So Mondays are our off days in season. So that's a complete academic day. Take care of what you need to do. Tuesday, Wednesday, we typically practice and then we ship out on a Thursday, play Friday through Sunday, and then the week flips again and we do it all over again. So online offerings have been huge for our guys, having access to the portals that they need. And some of those are self-regulated so they can move at their own pace, which is helpful at times as well. But I got to give credit to Andy Van Sistine, our academic advisor. The guy's a wizard. He's really good at helping them schedule, make sure that they're trying to minimize the amount of opportunities they're going to miss class. And if they do, trying to make sure that it makes sense during the week at the right time. So Andy's tremendous at his job, and without him, our guys won't achieve like they do.
So they're doing basically remote classes while we're on the road for the winter months. Is that right?
Yep. They're doing everything that they can to get ahead of it before we leave. And then when we're on the road, we make sure that we have access to Wi-Fi that can take care of any business they need.
Wow. So I think when Coach Lundy was on earlier this year, we talked about how well our student athletes typically are performing on the student side of the athlete equation. Amanda, can you remind me what the average GPA is for our student athletes?
Sure. Yeah, happily. We're hot off the press just a couple of weeks ago, a 3.4 GPA across all of our roughly 300 student athletes.
3.4?
So 3.4, and baseball is just above that mark, almost a 3.5. So achieving at a really high level in every facet of what they do as Division I athletes.
I didn't make a 3.4 GPA in college, and I wasn't an athlete, right? So that's incredible. I love it.
I think I got there cumulatively.
I think your GPA and mine combined to get there. So we did that inter-school GPA match. That special program. This has been such a fun conversation. I know our time is wrapping to an end, but we definitely want to shout out some of the UWM alums that are in the MLB right now. Dalton Varsho, is that right? And
Yep.
You mentioned AJ, who's I considered adding to my fantasy team earlier this week because my relief pitching is pretty awful. So this has been a great conversation. Incredible to visit with you, Coach, and obviously with Amanda and Chancellor. As we wrap up our time, we always want to talk about what the coolest thing we've done over the last month as a way to celebrate our time together. So, Chancellor, let's start with you.
Sure thing. So early this month, I had the opportunity to host the Universities of Wisconsin Border Regions here on campus. And that just affords a fantastic opportunity to showcase our institution's accomplishments, as well as articulate the impact our faculty, staff, and students have on this region, and certainly beyond. And it's always a reminder for colleagues at the institution that their work and their contributions matter. And it certainly makes a difference to our ability to deliver on our institutional mission. So it was a wonderful opportunity to host.
Amanda, how about you?
Yeah, I have a feeling I know what Shaun's going to say. You said
we're
last
saving
month,
him for last.
right?
We spent the last 28 minutes talking about it.
I'm going to combine what he's probably going to say with what the Chancellor just said. I came off of the weekend in Auburn flying, right? And got to present to the Board of Regents.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And a part of that presentation was about our baseball program and what they've achieved, and as a demonstration of how we can help our university achieve its goals. So that was incredible for me. And then I think I slept for the entire next day.
Coach, how about you? I have a sense what you're going to say, but we're going to give you the platform anyways.
Fun the last month hasn't been very fun for me, so I'm not even sure. But no, it's just, again, realizing and seeing these guys have the success that they've earned, right? Yeah. That's so gratifying as a coach, because that's what we work all year towards, is trying to get them to realize what their maximums are, and seeing them actually reach that and help promote our program in a positive light. It makes my job easier, quite honestly, because I get to come on shows like this and do some of these other opportunities. And then hopefully we can continue to be a front porch type program for our athletic department in the university. So that's really what I take pride in. And having my family down there, that's probably the most important thing, is my family got to experience it as well.
Well, keeping it UWM baseball focused, I got to say, this has been the highlight of my month. This has been so much fun to be able to talk to Amanda and you, Coach, about the baseball, the success of the baseball program. As somebody who wanted to be a baseball player as a kid, but realized I couldn't field and couldn't hit pitching above 85 miles per hour. It was not the career path for me. So here I am, being able to talk to you. What a highlight. Thank you all so much for joining the Chancellor's Report here on WUWM.
You've been listening to the Chancellor's Report, featuring Thomas Gibson, Chancellor of the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. If you'd like more information, go to uwm.edu/chancellor.